I think, tested in much the same way. There's going to be a lot of pressure sort of mounted around the map, but I think GamerLegion are going to have more security in going for some of these execute-heavy plays that I think when we looked at Wisla's post plants, there were some difficulties, like especially when they got on that T side, they didn't often take a lot of territory to accommodate for these plants that they got down. So kind of hoping that we see improvements all in all for both squads, because we've seen some very impressive sort of mid-round reads and good rotates, some great individual plays. It's just all about pulling it all together to have a nice uniform display, and Wisla could just pull off a potential 2-0.
At the same time, I go, oh, actually, on the point over here, because it's going to be a quick double smoke out, and then what looks to be an execute into a late lurk from Rusty, who's got 2 flashes. And are they trying to pretend like it's a fake? Because obviously Immo was the one who threw both those smokes as well. Oh. But Jedka welcomes them in. This is just not fit for television, Michael. I'm sorry, that's just how it goes. This is too violent. Even so, back to a 2-on-3. Problem is, the bomb is over up in Palace, aka nightmare position.
Yeah, and they know Jedker was last seen there, so realistically, where he's last positioned himself is either under Balk or, oh my god, or in the Palace. And Im is clotheslining people with this P250, so he's getting a lot of attention drawn, but Rusty's gone as well, so it has to all be Imma.
Well, I suppose after the 40 banger in the previous one, you know, you can maybe ask him for something similar over here as well.
This guy dualies.
Yeah, Jedka is, he's been hitting the aimbots with dualies. I never thought I'd say that, but he has been.
You live in crazy times. Nice idea, though, there from GamerLegion, though, throwing the staggered execute. There was a lot of theory crafting when the nade dropping first came in, and for that T side, it came in like, oh, one man can throw the whole execute, but it takes a lot of time in between each of those grenades to redeploy and pick them up, line up another piece of kit. Doesn't ultimately end up working out. Wisla don't bite down too heavy. Now just working off of one flash, hoping to potentially overrun this B bomb side just by sheer numbers. Sobol's gonna have a lot of money farmed up, or he's gonna get nothing. I don't think there's two sides of the same coin.
Yeah. Either he bought Bitcoin at 100 and sold it at 80, or he bought it at 100 and sold it at 50,000. Of course, question is going to be, what's the GamerLegion plan over here? Maybe just trying to waste out some utility. I'm actually a big proponent of that, Michael. I do believe that, you know, teams should wait for as long as possible on their terrorist sign before going in if they're on a full eco and basically are guaranteed to lose out. Quick flashbang over. Sobol is very blind and very dead. There he goes, selling Bitcoin at 80. Goofy's also in the vicinity, though, and he's able to pick up quite a few. Errors recovered an MP9, and the box can be planted. A very successful round already. Question is, can they find even more? Maybe now the kill with the MP9? No, not quite there. GamerLegion will instead have to be content with, well, 2 kills on a bomb plant, which is pretty damn good.
Yeah, and kind of sick the way that plays out, because they just show a little glimpse there to the jump spotting of that MP9, and then there's a flash that sails in just after the fact, just they're priming to take those fights. So it's well laid out, even with the sort of minimal buy there from GamerLegion, just to get that primary objective accomplished of getting that bomb down. So that extra money, the extra heads taken, Wisla can't sit too safe on that 2-round buffer. If they'd gotten a nice clean freebie, then you know they'd have extra money in the back pocket. Little movement here for Jedker to rendezvous on short with the rest of the squad.
3-man short setup, not something you see very often.
Not very orthodox.
Yeah. It definitely does give you a lot of avenues for mid control, I suppose, in an uncanny angle. Maybe, you know, you get a boost up there as well. One player inside ladder room, they're never getting B short, that's for sure. Fortunately, does leave out A very open. And with Sparrow only having to scout, this could be a difficult defense. He will spot at the first player. Good tag onto Error. And now it's even Steven. Imma good for 1. Rusty makes it 2. Now suddenly with the location of Sparrow very well known, the CTs are going to be falling to pieces. And would not be surprised if we see them falling back.
Still a little staggered here on the GamerLegion progress in the bomb site. Scope noise being made here by Spiro, so Iman is getting ready to peek on him. Flashbangs, had teammates right behind him though, so Spiro does go traded. They're playing anti-flash. Isaac just looking for the right opportunity to strike as well on this lurk. Potential wrap towards that spawn area. Right now, smokes are down though. So Wisla, some attention can be brought over to that potential of a jungle wrap. They're still progressing through those smokes. And Zero for now doesn't really have an angle. No one really peeking as of yet. Just waiting for the right prompt.
GamerLegion have played this perfectly though. They can't save, they can't go anywhere, they can't go forward because no one's exposing themselves or taking kills. Era will be the first casualty of the post plant. Retake attempt. Sobel's got another one, and Zero's the only one on the bomb side. Let's not forget that one. So even if he's good for one of a he's going to be in a difficult situation. Plays around and lets Isaac finish the job. That's still a lot of damage going out the other way, but Wisla losing their weapons is more than worth it for GamerLegion.
Yeah, setup looked pretty ideal to actually deal with the double setup from spawn, but the fact that they were so hesitant to swing off one another after players were losing their lives, it gets a little bit hairy. Not for the fact that Zero gets that first kill. Can't 2-on-1 the final player. Aggro move boost up. Perfect for Snatchy. Secondary for GamerLegion, can't quite hunt down that trade, but knows that there's at least 2 players committed to the underpass, so Era's just trying to keep them there.
Forward, Jedka. Oh, Era's good for the first. Snatchy's gone, and with the M4 recovered, second player just wants to be backing off the corner. Spero actually doing a lot with that recovered weapon. Somehow they've turned it around on their heads. Okay.
Yeah, that was very unideal. We were so caught up about this mid fight, but they were trying to go for a bit of quick progress over at A. That's why there was a bit of urgency for Wisla to get out of the underpass and somewhere into the connector to help support those players. But Spirit didn't really need the help. Doing so much damage, finding those kills. Another round added to the Wisla tally, and GamerLegion on a bit of a non-buy. 3 rifles, sure. Decent belt of utility, sure, but it's all committed really on singular players. Too many bits and bobs.
Fashion Mid is going to be facilitating the peak, but Snatchy is gone. He wasn't expecting the late push, perhaps, of Rusty, and that could lead to another kill soon enough. Goofy peeks out. Rusty is ready. And they're all just falling apart. Wisla, they get given a godsend, but turns out they're not doing much with it. Sobol at the very least is good for 1 very quickly, bringing it up to 2.
Free planted B, and Wisla don't have the spare money to really go for the retake. They could always attempt it. Yeah, an easy one at the start, and there are kits along the path. Sobel has one himself, but great flash there for GamerLegion. Just trying to buy more and more time, and it's actually enough to just deter the attempt altogether there for Wisla. So just fancying a little glance, but once they realized that GamerLegion might have taken some control, you know, held onto the apartments, pushed into market, so short was all they had to really worry about. These early kills leading into a round win here for this T side. And if you are just joining us for the second map in the series, you know, you're looking at that top right of your screen, you're seeing, hey, Wisla won that first map. Why is there no little marker there? Huddle update soon, I'm sure. Wisla taking their map, now GamerLegion's map to answer back, but Wisla with a decent start have had some good reads so far, some good movement as well from a couple of these players from the CC start, and oh, Emma having to turn from flashes consistently. Sobel finds a great timing to exploit that.
Good Molotov, though, coming out from the CTs, and Zero is going to extinguish it, but Sobel is not going to be blind as a result of that small added delay. Goofy as well, tagged up. Grenade's not going to catch him, but he's here still to provide that necessary support with even that one smoke that could be a game changer, but that game changer is also changing the state of their utility. Their belts are empty, Michael.
Still a man
You know
up.
this?
It's still it's an awkward spot to be in here for GamerLegion, because if you had stressed this out and brought it to 2 and 2 apiece on these bomb sites, you know that there'll be a massive hole to maybe exploit in towards middle, or unless there be a weaker of the 2 sites to maybe hit. And so the fact that they haven't given that one away, and, you know, rifles have changed hands into Jedker because Goofy was that player taking tags, is still a bit of an awkward mid-round here for GamerLegion, because they don't know if there is a weaker of these 2 bomb sites. And Wisla haven't just sat on their laurels. They've pushed for a bit of information. You can see Snatchy's position over at ramp. He seems the target.
This could be a really difficult spot to be hitting, though. Sparrow, he's not quite able to activate the flank fast enough. Didn't push through the smoke, and now they're going to be funneled in. Goofy good for the 1-on-1 alone again. The 2-on-3 with both players over on short. One of them, though, decides to deviate, and that deviation's going to have to go straight back to T-spawn. Save up, Snatchy. Nothing you can get over here. Not with the MP9, at least.
Definitely one of the stronger bomb sites to go into on the side of GamerLegion. That was one of the difficulties you're trying to highlight just as the hit comes in. Is that Wisla had 3 players there, kind of ready and rearing to go, but they're so heavily clustered up together, and without them finding a proper trade, like, yeah, sure, Goofy getting that 1 kill is nice and all, but you're kind of hoping that it's a zebra crossing of frags in that kill feed instead of 2 to 1 and then another trade.
And not to mention, Michael, over here, the other thing is also Wisla didn't reposition after Goofy's position was already known. They already had the information that Sobo was playing over in jail. So after that, instead of trying to reposition and sort of rejig everything, they're still playing from the exact same spot. So it's not even like GamerLegion need the extra wherewithal and communications to adjust that quickly. I know it seems like a small thing, but it can be
working off of
a
old
very
info,
major factor. Yeah. Oh, Snatchy. Well, Phil, run with it. You've got the entry.
There's not even anyone here, so really you're just being flashy for no reason.
Which is the best reason to be flashy. I would say.
It's a way of life.
Indeed. It's called... Speaking of which, Era has strutted his tail feathers over into the bomb site. And gets himself the quick entry as well. With this, round's pretty much over. So was the last resistance. He's got a very pretty looking USB, I'll say that. But not one that's likely to...
Yeah, pretty don't buy you kills.
Unless you're talking about device. In which case, still doesn't buy you kills because he's not playing these days.
Yeah, he's just not. Yeah, that's a loaded conversation.
That's why we unload that somewhere else, and we're back to the game.
Hey, on the good news, Dude's looking all right on that. So you know,
dude, they might get Prolan, which is that's nuts. Looking forward to seeing how that turns out. Forget about that for now, though, Michael. It's Rusty fast out. Molotov has been extinguished, and the smoke's going to be covering off his ascent forward as well. Goofy has found the first kill, but he doesn't realize there's still one player hot on his heels. It's Isaac to take him down, and now boxing onto the bomb site is all alone. Sobol brought down. Assistance does come in the form of Snatchy, but he's looking into a now vacated apartment.
Get that kill on him and they go for it, but they don't, and so saving will be the call. They've already got Era on a hunt, and so this little safety that Spear is feeling, bouncing around in the palace, Era says, get out of my house. I'm really liking that. We're seeing GamerLegion as well find these really aggressive routes to almost force Wisla into these awkward fights. You could see on that early short pressure, Rusty was ready to go on the angle. You know, it's like there's a small gap around it that they're hoping to exploit. And even with, you know, the trade being relatively good, you know, Goofy was on low HP, but by the time he left that fight, Isaac doesn't just spray through the smoke. Could have seen an argument to do it just to make sure that they got a trade if the information was relayed over that he was tagged up, but Isaac just makes sure, like, going through it, finding a good timing, and then Sobol didn't really have much of a choice. Like, he just had to pick his poison, and ultimately didn't have the antidote.
She's getting a crow. No. He backs off early, afraid of the fast spawn on the T side. Of course, Zero didn't quite have that, but Could have been a big chance for them to get a kill. One of the things that they haven't been able to really do on this B-bomb side as well, which is causing them so many issues, is that they haven't really been able to get aggressive into apartments either. So when you're giving up short and you can't get aggressive into apartments, you really do seem to be boxed into such a limited capacity every single time.
Not been very proactive, no. Gosh darn defaults. GamerLegion love them. And they throw in these couple of, you know, small changes that, you know, these aggressive ads. Some of the more lurky plays that they go for. Snatchy caught completely unaware by this one. That's the premium rifle out of the equation. And they're still losing numbers elsewhere. Good news for them that they have been able to recover a rifle, but him is just way too sharp, doing 180s and finding both. Man, this guy has really come to play today.
Yeah, he feels robbed after you. Can't blame him, but more than happy to make up for it. Now GamerLegion are up 6-3. Michael, the only question that I've sort of got in my mind is at this point, I know it's early to write them off, but how do you think Wisla's T-side is going to be?
Is this just all about T-sides? Is that the story of the whole game?
I mean, if you're a fan of Wisla, you better be hoping so, because so far their CT sides have not been looking like they're going to be offering too much. Snatchy peeks down and he's gone. He's gone. Rusty can be traded out soon, but you've already lost your off and a second on top. This is not looking good.
Look at what Isaac's up to as well over that B-bomb site. All the meanwhile, all that pressure at middle, it forced Sobol out of position. They're still very hesitant about which of these sites it's actually going to be. Sobol's just given up on the B-bomb site. So as Isaac realizes, GamerLegion can get a free plant, a free site.
It's a spree of flashes, but as the rotations are coming in onto A, slowly it's starting to trickle through. Have we been bamboozled? A save call likely to be the only outcome, but a call that they might not be prepared to be able to actually pull off. Zero is the snake in the pit. He's sitting right there next to them. If they start to proceed to Palace, if they start going anywhere in to the A-bomb site. Sayonara rifles.
Yeah, they've gone B, boys. I've cleared the A-bomb site. It's all looking good. And Zero is still heard those jump spots, but Sobol jumps up on the box. That's a personal favorite of mine, so Sobol gets a big check of approval for that.
What about all the other rounds?
So it can feel overutilized, especially in sort of like middling tiers. A lot of up-and-coming teams. There's always that one guy that knows how to exploit that, but it's still a very annoying position to have to deal with if you're ever in Firebox. Still, you can see the psychology of Wisla in that round was kind of all over the place. You know, lose a player at A, lose a player at mid. Surely it's going to be some sort of A-site convergence. They just give up and really gamble their assets, hoping that it will be A. But these lurks, these lurks across both maps have been so good.
I also really appreciate the fact that they've been, as Era will be missing out that opportunity. I appreciate the fact that they've been going for these spawn smokes from mid, so Sparrow's basically got Statue's basically got no chance to get an op pick from the mid window, and that's because Rusty has been prioritizing whenever he has a spawn, going fast, short, and I mean damn fast. So Snatchy or Sparrow, if he's going for the secondary, will just always feel like they cannot get a pick unless they get aggressive, unless they go for the cat jump, unless they go for the connector drop. There's no way to actually get the kill. So how are you going to adjust when you can never get anything? Well, apparently you're going to shoot someone through the smoke.
Just as a counterpoint to that, a team that basically innovated those spawn smokes was Big, and it's a team that Wisla beat quite recently on Mirage. So they've certainly been able to overcome it, but still subjected themselves to like an 8-7 scoreline, 7 on the defensive end.
Hey, Michael, I mean, I'd argue that if they beat Big, GamerLegion probably saw what they did there.
Yeah.
That's always one of the problems of playing up against these, you know, big teams. Imma, Sparrow, and he's traded out very soon, so at least advantage is maintained for the CT side of a hair. Bomb might be dropped soon as well. Goofy is unwilling to rotate, and I can see why. But the kind of yo-yoing that's been going on before, Rusty's demise will be quickly forcing Era forward. Goofy moves past him, and Era might even be able to get the backstep. There you have it. Bomb can be planted. Now it's a 1-on-2.
Mad play for Era to go for, considering he had the AWP just lurking in that smoke, has that bomb. Exactly where one of these players is and lands the tag, but it will not net him the kill. A small bit of wall is all the difference that clutch makes. If he gets a clean shot, Snatchy's in a really difficult spot.
This is still a very dangerous place for Wisla to be in, Michael, because GamerLegion have got all the money in the world. It's a big round for them to get, especially when you consider that they do so reading into GamerLegion's style of play, reading into that late short lurk, even if Era does get the kill. So at least it's a big affirmation. Jedka now, though, misses out on the jump. He's going to be prioritizing underpass aggression instead, but with Molotovs and flashes all around him, how long can he really stay here?
Yeah, I could have even tried for the boost as well, but demands too many resources. They know that they are in the underpass as well. A deep smoke from Wisla will be an indicator as to such. Snatchy is still holding the angle as well on short, so has to ask for some assistance from this connector player just to make sure they don't creep up on the underpass on him.
I don't know if they actually have the information of the underpass players though, Michael, because the thing is, that smoke was just chucked out when Jedker missed out the jump on Catwalk, so it might not have been a reaction. They do have an inkling of what is here to come. Jedker still will be keeping an eye out for it. No. Did he spot out that player? Didn't look like he did. Perhaps missing out. Sobo good for one, but Immo's still in mid. He's the danger man. Danger man's been tagged up. His teammates gone as well.
Still able to deal with Jedker in the connector. It's from the A players, but it's a quick trade in response there for Wisla. Im is so low HP. Headshot angle doesn't matter. Snatchy still got him, and it's another 1v3 that has to be attempted here for Era. A lot of room to work with. Snatchy already holding the angle on short.
Oh, and Era's just going to be caught out of a hair. Barrels
Impossible.
out. Yeah. Not even expecting him to maintain that position. Fifth round secured, and in a great way there again. Wisla really do look like they might have maybe got the number of GamerLegion. Question is, do they have a second SIM card?
And just to highlight as well, like the start of that round looked hectic there from Wisla. Like they're missing jumps, they're having to come up with solutions to get themselves out of the position, keep GamerLegion busy as well, like show some sort of map pressure to bleed out that time, and they're able to get out of those situations relatively scot-free. So the fact they kept a cool head after what is an unideal opening, certainly good to see.
Looks like it'll be a waterfall outside, and Goofy, well, he already knows there's more players coming over. Jedka, however, has given him a slightly safer affair. Can't say the same about his own self. He's been given a haircut.
Yeah, challenging stairs like that. Yeah, maybe feeling a little too overconfident. This guy's landing pre-fire kills and thinking he can go from angle to angle. Still a bit of worry here for GamerLegion. A lot of these players were situated at A at the start, so maybe this is the time where Wisla get aggressive in the apartments, which they haven't been so far this half, but both teams have been doing a good job of adding extra dynamics to their play if they feel like there might have been an opportunity.
Is that a gap in the smoke on the side? Emma will be able to move through and take over some jungle control as a result of it. And of course, Wisla actually didn't have players nearby enough, so they have to be aware that, hell, it could even be a boost into jungle with a self-boost. So there is that, but is that awareness going to be there? 25 seconds now, the call's being made. Rotations need to come through, but Snatchy is still not moving. They are so afraid of GamerLegion changing things up, because that's what they've been doing time and time and time again. Losing out on the A-side players, this has to be a save, but it's not one where Snatchy is going to be able to get away uncontested.
Great round here from Imma. He doesn't get any of these kills on the actual attack, but gets the information that there's someone AWPing in spawn because he can hear that from jungle. So they just throw all the flashes they need to isolate the one player inside the bomb site. No kills this round at all, but a lot of credit to him to get that information for the rest of the squad. Another and an 8th for GamerLegion, where they are interested in this hunt. You talked about some of that extra money they had in their pockets. There's still enough floating around to really damage the investments here for Wisla in the follow-up round. The one for Wisla is really going to escape or run into any of these lingering GamerLegion players. So they'll keep their weapons for now. Even still, 8 already on this GamerLegion side, where we've seen a couple flashes of individual play, but right now, I mean, it feels like Wisla, unless they go for a little bit of proactivity to make things awkward for GamerLegion, they are, I think, struggling to get that advantage like they're kind of hoping for, especially when you've got Snatchy commanding so much area. Very rarely have we seen him actually get activated.
This is a very stark contrast to what we saw in map 1 in that regards.
He was everywhere.
And with the Palace aggression not working out for them in this round, Michael, that could be dissuading for them for a couple of rounds to come. We saw Wisla being a little bit hesitant to get aggressive in the first place, but honestly, we're also at a stage where it does seem sort of like you want to fight for 7. Do we see a gamble stack from them? Do we see anything of that sort of being called? They're still so committed to a 2-2 split.
Pretty similar CT setup to what we saw the round prior, and you saw how middle was exploited, so Wisla a little bit more emphasis that direction and leaving Jedker on his lonesome over at that A site.
Snappy spotted out, but what a flick. He's been great at countering out those headshot angles. Even manages to back off into safety before he can be boxed in by it. Oh, beautiful shot from Era. Before we can be boxed in by that Molotov. Sobel was boosted up earlier on though, so it should be a freebie to come out from him. Maybe even more than one. Isaac, as he makes his way over, might not be checking this angle. It's a dangerous one to be playing up against. Isaac fakes it out, and as Sobel's gonna drop down, Rusty is expecting it. The fake was enough, and it looks like the 9th is all but secured.
Worst part there for Sobel is I'm pretty sure they were just holding to see if someone would swing from the empty pillar, because they didn't actually have somebody pathing towards jail or bench or the van to stop that sort of market door entrance. Oh, Goofy can't even escape. Just tagged up on the cross. But Sobel just kind of drops into their arms as they're holding a different angle. And because he's having to fall and reset his aim, you know, the inaccuracies, just never a fair fight. Another time where we're seeing that short play from GamerLegion where there's this aggressive smoke and they're willing to go through it. This time it was with a flash, but they've gone through in a round prior with Isaac just sort of walking past it. The one from the connector side of A is actually just able to help because of how split the defenses were.
Again, Imma's basically sitting on the foot of connector already.
Yeah. I mean, they don't want to fight mid anymore, especially with unideal weaponry, unideal utility. Well, they've got three grenades that they can throw. One of each.
This round is basically impossible for them. With no one coming in from A main as well, the XM's going to be completely useless on long range. He's already found the first kill. Goofy's one of the few rifle holders. And but they do have the stack, but that stack is falling apart. It's a stack of dominoes, Michael. And Sparrow.
Lots of cards.
Maybe Distraction can find something. No, not even him.
Oh, he no-scoped him?
My shotgun is harder hitting than yours is.
It's bigger, better, stronger.
So we'll at least be able to get a couple of kills, but even so, 10th round secure, double digits for GamerLegion. Can Wisla bring it back? We'll find out after a short break. Is it a tale of T-sides? Is it a tale of GamerLegion just wrecking everything? Well, we're about to find out which one of the two it is, because Wisla are about to be given their opportunity at their own terrorist side, but they are jumping right into a stack, Michael.
Yeah, this is where they brought things back against Big. Let's see if they can do something similar. Jedker actually being able to get the first and actually a secondary kill as well. Isaac can get a single kill. He can't buy a frag. Just body damage and Sobel hunts him down. It's a slaughter on the A-bomb site. Not a singular kill there for GamerLegion whatsoever. And Wisla will take the pistol.
What did you say about that stack of dominoes, house of cards thing in that previous round, Michael? Because I feel like it might have just mirrored onto this one.
Yeah, I also have my halves completely the wrong direction.
Well,
Wisla had a pretty successful CT side against Big, but different story here. They need a very successful T side, and I think they're capable of that. We've seen just how he on some of these rounds, the spread, lurk, get information, the types of plays that they like to go for. Super impactful on Nuke. I hate that when I confuse halves. I love a really aggressive CT side, so sometimes I do think of it like, you know, you've got options.
so wait, the CTs just become terrorists suddenly because they got aggressive?
That's overpassing. That's why I love it.
Sobel, in the meanwhile, is loving his 1 HP, I guess. Wait, Zero's also got an AK coming in from behind. See, the problem over here is I would just love to see Zero save this AK. I don't think there's very much else you can do with it. Although with Sparrow getting aggressive into the palace area,
They don't have util to stop him. They actually just don't have utility to stop that angle from being a factor. So they're in a little bit of an awkward spot here.
And with Sobel going down, it gets even worse. Sure, he's on 1 HP, but you've lost another one in the meanwhile. Guess what's left? It's a MAC-10. Not quite the weapon you thought you'd have over here. And GamerLegion get a couple of gamer moments on, I guess. Well, I mean, that's just honestly, that's just a cacophony of misplays coming out from Wisla. Nothing else can be said about that. Getting aggressive into Palace over there, sure, the pick out to Zero isn't that big of a deal, but then being in incredibly exposed angles when the bomb is planted for a main / connector as well, in a position where you have no utility, it just that's a botched round.
Yeah, it's also something that we noticed when we looked at the sort of the first half of Nuke as well. You know, some of these post plants, players looking at in the wrong place at the wrong time, not thinking about the timing, the possibilities that are available quick enough. Well, if they don't end up in post plants, they don't need to worry. Seems like start of this round, 2 very quick opening picks. One a Deeg, one a Galore, and Smoke faded in a dead. There's no plant the bomb, and I think Wisla chilling.
Goofy's made his way over, and now they can't go through the murder hole. Goofy also can't back off, so it's a stalemate, but with numbers very heavily in their favor. Wisla are fine with that. Meanwhile, Rusty is also likely going to be caught off by that stray Deagle that's also making its way down in. Sobel will fall, but the information is more likely than not going to be worth it. In this circuit, Rusty, good for a second.
Don't hunt too hard.
Yeah.
Can't afford to, really.
Some Brer Rabbit stuff going on over here. Do you know about Brer Rabbit, Michael?
Not particularly.
It was a childhood set of stories. It was very similar to Bugs Bunny. It might actually, I'd have to look this up, but it might have actually been an influence for it because it's like this early 1900s, late 1800s sort of like series of short stories for children, all about this rabbit that just goes around making fools of people.
See, I can see how that might be appealing. Love a bit of like audience slapstick.
Yeah. It was a book though, so.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But you sort of like you envision everything in a book.
Oh no, of course, 100%.
That's why when these books get adapted to TV shows, everyone's like, "Oh my god, my imagination now brought to reality," and then they botch it. So.
The inevitability. Looking at you, Netflix. Jedker, in the meanwhile, is looking at Era and Imran. That actually makes a lot of sense, Michael. He probably spends a lot more time looking at Counter-Strike than Netflix. That's why he's so good at the game.
Good sweep up here from Wisla. They want to forget about that round that was never supposed to happen in the first place. And even though GamerLegion got their hands on some of those weapons, you know, they saved. They're thinking, oh, we got that bounce back with the Force Spy. Wisla answered back with a couple statement rounds, not losing all too much.
Oh dear.
Good flash. Isaac blinded for the full duration, but still gets his hands on an AK. Snatchy's head popped. No head armor.
Well, he's got a second as well. Apparently, these guys are not very good hunters, Michael.
One-on-one engagements in the early round, all good. Everybody is man for themselves. Lone wolf.
5-on-1. Oh no.
Danger.
Oh. Solid shot though.
These have been fast rounds here from Wisla. Even on the gun round that GamerLegion actually had, it felt like it was over almost as quick as an anti-eco. So, really impressive stuff, just being able to keep that pace applied nice and early and set an early precedent as well that GamerLegion will have to react by throwing some of these early bits of utility, whether it's a Molotov or smoking off ramp or just thinking about the advanced timings that Wisla could take. Good, interesting plan here for GamerLegion. Underpass play just as they go for a full B conversion. Spear is under a lot of pressure, but Snatchy just from the high ground as well goes into support. While Spear could have gone overrun. Era's got his hands on a knife kill somehow. Someone went lunging at his teammate, and Era took that as an opportunity to get some extra money.
Hey man, Opper's got off.
Yeah, you distract, I'll go in for the shank.
And to think that this could have been a 10-all at this stage, if not for Wisla botching up that anti-eco situation. Even so, I guess it really is a tale of two sides, Michael.
Yeah, so far haven't had to worry about that post-plant issue.
Fancy footwork coming in. Always love to see it. Also, of course, rocking the Prince stream. Love that sticker combination he's got on with it, actually.
Oh, God,
It's
don't
quite
you
nice.
start.
Hey, come on, Michael.
You gosh darn skin gushers.
I just like the Prince stream. I've got one myself. It's the only expensive skin I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Emma, meanwhile, nice as they may be, they're not very lethal right now in his hands, and that grenade looked like it could have actually brought him down, but let's go maybe a little bit too deep, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't back off. If he decided to run away from the ladder, he's dead man. But look how low all these GamerLegion players are, and not a lot reciprocated. Good kill for Rusty. It does at least give them a numbers advantage, and AWP will be swapped. Smoke fading. Oh my
God. He's got them both as well. Doesn't drop the ball at all. Not a single point of HP lost, so now the bomb can go towards the B-bomb side if they'd like to reposition. GamerLegion still have got a bit of a triangle of death set up, though. Options are surprisingly limited considering how many damn kills that they've actually found so far. 40 seconds left, though, means that they can at least exercise some sort of oversight. Just to start to look around. Maybe browse in A as well. Window shopping in, but with 30 seconds, they ain't no time for window shopping. Got to pull out the wallet, but can they pay for it? Imma now mollied out and right back into the side. He'll have to go. The bomb's been lost, and they need to recover. 20 seconds, and it's getting rough up in these waves. And they're heading back to the A-bomb side, but are they ready for Zero's repositioning? 13 seconds. They're going to have to rush it. They're going to have to rush it. Zero reveals himself, and Sparrow's got the kill. Crucial for him to actually find that one. And Snatch is going to plant in default right at that 5-second mark. Michael, it is a game of inches.
They are highly suspect of the connector. One exposed position, the fastest rotate between the two sites, and they are not showing a thing. Deep positions on both the ramp and CT spawn. Ramp player can't really contest this defuse if it should come out, so this fight against Spiro is everything.
No kit either on him, so smoke down, defuse is unlikely to be a... Oh my god, he even tried to move away, and Sparrow...
He wasn't on it.
Just knocks him out. And
Just
now
a prank,
GamerLegion's
bro.
money's also gone.
It was just a prank. Tried to ding-dong ditch it, and instead gets put in one. Man, really, I think well composed there from Wisla. A little fumbly towards the end of that, considering that with the attempt towards B, they recognized as well it was going to be a fight up against that AWP, and they just wanted to avoid that as best they could. But they gave enough time for GamerLegion to reset in different positions, and that's what was really scary. If not for the fact that Zero misses out on that shot triple, it just changes the round completely, because he can just sit default, wait for that stairs player to overcommit, and that time, there wouldn't have been enough time on the clock for the bomb to actually get planted. So, it is quite literally the difference between that one kill winning the round or not. Fine margins, but Wisla is still trucking along and close in on that gap. Looking to threaten a tie. Only at the scoreline, not the map, of course.
Of course, just to remind anyone who's tuning in right now, Wisla is up 1-0. We've got some HUD glitching going on, unfortunately, but that is one of those small things, guys. Quality of life is only marginally affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what we say about margins, Michael? Never really got them.
I said just make things look more organized.
Yeah,
That's what to get.
I mean, yeah, but man,
And when you grade papers, you know, you've got
yeah,
little...
but at the same time, Michael, like when I was in school for a while,
Is that a miss
instead of
Windows
giving us, oh, actually, that could be problematic, I guess. But no, not quite. Era's not actually going to be proceeding over that way, and
I'm writing that one in the margins for Wisla, though.
Okay, could just write it on a separate page and refer to it
In red pen.
Yeah. Okay. Gotta bring out the red pen. Damn it, Michael. That's why this is why... Actually, funnily enough, I actually went out to buy some ink today and I just refused to get anything red. Rusty, however, is getting a lot of red as he's being shot right up after he's found a single kill of his own. Bomb site is unoccupied.
Printed his eulogy on the back wall.
Mm-hmm. It's, you had inkjet printers? Kind of like that, but a bit more violent.
Yeah, way more violent. Well, it's 4 players on either side, but GamerLegion with a bit of investment, you know, extra armor, smoke stat, like they want to keep as much as they can. Game of small margins, you have to really think about everything. Snatchy's doing some housekeeping as well, making sure that bomb doesn't blow an AK somewhere into middle or make its way over short somehow. All these finer details. Apartments is safe enough. And
how far out are they going to go, though, is the question, because you don't want to be losing out these AKs at this stage. Your economy isn't quite at the unthreatenable mark yet, even if it's pretty damn healthy.
It's about where GamerLegion got to on their T side.
Yeah.
You know, a couple players at 11, 10k-ish. I think GamerLegion just haven't had their foot in the door on these rounds. Like, on Wisla's CT side, they were at least getting, like, a couple of these kills, and maybe they'd be in an awkward mid-round moment, but... Feels like Wisla are just dictating the floor.
Arrow's also gone surprisingly silent in the second half. I think he ended the first one at something about 12 kills or so. Now he's only sitting on 15, so... As a CT side opper, you've got to be putting some of the blame on those shoulders as well.
We've had one round, really, from GamerLegion where it was, like, really, really close. That 2-on-2. But forced by win, I don't really know if we count that.
Flashes out and over. Jedka trying to get a quick entry in, and the drop down from the stairs player is not punished. A Molotov and a lot of utility have been deployed, but actually the attack is coming in through from the jungle boost. Goodbye, Goofy. There's Arrow's contribution coming in. Molotov right at his feet, and a smoke to extinguish will keep him alive. Snatchy's got him as well, though. That's a trade they're happy to make, but not when it goes a little bit further than that. Era and Zero are just ripping apart that A-bomb site. And so are going to be finding their first round. Question is, how much money will they be able to take away with it?
Not a whole lot. Man, another one of these no-scoping plays, apparently, from Era. You very rarely catch him, but that's because do you expect him to go for shots like that? Wisla tried to go for this late boost window and all these fights towards middle. Like, even though they're able to get that first kill from bottom con, there's more GamerLegion players where that came from. So, just sweeping up the rest of the fights, maybe Wisla not expecting a three-man aggression, and going just before that smoke blooms, big mistake for Goofy.
Oh, there goes Sparrow as well. Suddenly Wisla, where they're on the edge of being able to find a lead for themselves, now they are being edged out instead. Rotation is also coming in through to the A-bomb site. You can see how much more definitive GamerLegion is about those. They're very willing to make that call, even though there's a minute and 20 left on the clock. That's plenty of time for them to be wrong.
Spots one, but an overcommitment there from Imit. The rest of the team wasn't quite ready to converge on the site the same way he tried to get some territory. Still a slow grind here for Wisla, just waiting for the wrong move, but right into the ult of Isaac, the slow peek, the crouch out, but still trades back. Connector still under siege, and Rusty taking a bit of sanctuary, diving into that smoke, making it difficult for Snatchy, and he'll make that a bit of an oddity, but Isaac just lined up the nade. Pulled out the pistol, ready to find that kill because he knew he was low, but the nade instead will finish the job. Another round for GamerLegion CT side.
That is just rude. That is rude.
You could see the small glimmer in Snatchy's eyes, like, I can win this.
And then he sees the nade right next to him. Time slows down, and he knows he should have said his goodbyes. Paul's coming out in a time when, honestly, Wisla probably need it.
I think both teams have had their fair reasons to call these timeouts, like GamerLegion not even being competitive in a lot of these earlier moments in this half. And now Wisla, seemingly back-to-back moments, losing out in this mid-control fight, where you compare that to GamerLegion's T side, they were commanding. You know, you were kind of highlighting the fact that Ime was bottom connector in like the opening moments of a round, and there was nobody even close to that area for Wisla. They were almost always having to account for potential flanks from jungle and the sort. GamerLegion don't have to battle an eyelid because they're just killing these mid players.
Oh,
looking like a classic A exec.
That is the call. That is what's going to be coming out their way. Zero, however, is in a great position to be able to take down Chedka and find the early advantage. Arrow's also aggressive, but he doesn't get the kill. Zero's instead the one who's actually sent out to spill all the blood in the world. They're just losing control, man. These early rounds where they're not able to get mid control and sort of play off of that have just been going terribly for them. A-side hits have been an impossible ask.
Well, consolation kill here for Snatchy over at B. He was low, tagged up by the error AWP, and he hightailed it out of there. And I agree. It almost feels like, I mean, I don't want to sort of harp too much on playing practices and, you know, finding yourself in tough positions, but that is what the playbook is there for. You know, you're in a tough spot. You want to pull out a niche little round, but the A execute is probably one of the most practiced and practiced against setups that a lot of these teams would have faced. So very, very good awareness there for GamerLegion. Good setup as well to deal with it. If not for that forward balcony play, you could see how much more difficult it would have been for Era to actually get even to triple, because he had to make his way out of spawn.
Half fight coming up from Wisla. I mean, not quite a half fight, but not the ideal amount of rifles. Tech9 is going to be taking charge down into underpass. You can already see GamerLegion. Look at how Era's positioned. He's just ready to rotate on a hairline trigger. It's so different to how Wisla themselves were playing their CT sides.
Yeah.
Grenade's also going to be perfect. It's going to catch them out. There's so much damage. Slow them down. Meanwhile, Arrow's good for one as well. Isaac still just ducked away into jail, and Arrow's still going. He misses one, but Rusty's there to compensate, and Isaac also adds his name to the hat. GamerLegion have found 15 just like that.
And that just has to be great calling. I mean, Wisla tried the classic A execution, then they go in for another full investment, and they try the classic B execution. And just reading where Era is positioned for both of those just is a huge indicator that GamerLegion knew what was coming in some capacity. The fact that Era is, like you said, just ready to rotate so quickly, and he's already inside of the site before Wisla have actually pulled the pin on those grenades. Very telling. Wisla feel like they ran out of ideas a couple rounds ago.
And the strangest thing is, they were winning when they ran out of ideas and started going for these full executes instead. You know, it's not even like the defaults were just going drastically the other way.
It wasn't always pretty, though. Like, they needed to reel back on some of these hunts, and you saw there was a bit of lackluster success. It started to impact their economy a little bit, especially once GamerLegion started to win some of these rounds. This has been a bit of a crumbling.
he was like,
Almost shoots his teammate.
yeah. Well, you know, casualty of war. Emma, in the meanwhile, will at least get Sobol, and GamerLegion, they're just closing in on the 16, and we're going to be closing in on an overpass at the rate this is going. Seems like there's basically no chance over here, and you can, honestly, you can even see it reflected somewhat on the scoreboards. Goofy and Sparrow both sitting on 10 kills at the end of the game. That's not really enough for a map like Mirage. Confirmation. Not going to be giving maybe too much to the round score, but it's 16th found, and we're over to Overpass. We'll be back after a short break. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.